How many of you have heard the expression, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die? Well, there's a bit of that going on this week, because we all know that death is somehow an integral part of life. We see it in nature. Reminding them of their higher calling. He's trying to teach them the law of love. And for the most part, they fail. But he's called the weeping prophet because he never rails against them. He's always compassionate. He's always alongside them, hoping that they will change. And then in this passage, he has a vision of hope for the future. And what he sees is that the days of us being controlled by an external force, like law, duty, you should do this, you better do that, that somehow that kind of thinking is going to be transformed into something much, much more profound. That somehow the law, which is like that big stick coming at you from the outside that says you better do this because this is what you need to do, will be transformed to a still small voice within you that directs your heart and mind to naturally do that which is right. He calls that the transformation of the heart. That the covenant, the laws, which are out there, are going to be transplanted in here. We believe that that has happened in Jesus. That when we go to receive communion, which we will in a few minutes, and we say the words, this is my life. The new covenant, sealed with my life, with my body, with my blood. That we are in a radically different relationship with God, with ourselves, and with one another. So, the new covenant for us now has begun in Jesus. We're not there yet. Believe me, I look around me and I see that the world has not gotten to the place that God has dreamed that it will get to. Because we still have to do a lot of work. But it's one of these eschatological things. It's one of these things that we're going to look forward to in the future. That we're sort of there, but we're not quite there. So God has started that work in us. That we are beginning not to have to rely on those external laws, but that God is trying to write laws deep within us, so that we will almost automatically do the right thing if we are prepared to align our lives with God. So we're looking forward to this covenant to come into fullness. We're looking forward to the time when we won't sin. You know what sin means? It just means falling short. It means falling short of God's dream for us. And so we are looking forward to a time when we will be so in tune with God's will for our life that we will be our true selves. We will be in right relationship with other people. We will be in right relationship with the environment around us. And we will be in a right relationship with God. That is the promise of Christianity. That is the promise of the new covenant that Jesus brings. And so today, as we look around at that death, life, cycle of transformation, We know that it is a natural thing. Like, does a tree have to think about whether or not it's going to blossom in the spring? I don't think so. Should you and I have to really think deeply, deeply about whether we're going to act with integrity, we're going to love one another, we're going to care about our neighbor, we're going to care for the environment? Sadly, sometimes we do have to think about it. But if we allow ourselves to really get in touch with that still small voice that is constantly urging us to do the right thing, we may actually be able to spend less time thinking about it and more time just doing it. And so my prayer is that we could live into Jeremiah's promise, that we could begin to be those people who have transformed hearts. The psalm appointed for today, which we didn't read, it's Psalm 51. There's a great line in it. It says, "Create a clean heart in me, O Lord, and revive a right spirit within me." The Hebrews believed that the heart was the center of the will and the intelligence. So to create a clean heart in me is to be transformed, to be a new creation. That's the promise that we claim. That's the promise that we want to live into. Amen.